Hello there. I've never really paid much attention to YouTube and I'm new to this, so bear with me. Recently, I've been reading news at Digg.com and I found a link there one day that turned out to be the YouTube channel of Qualia Soup. The video was about critical thinking and I thought it was pretty good, so I viewed some of his other videos and some of the other videos that branched out from his. Most of these were in the atheist community. Now, I know many people who do not have strong feelings about religion and faith, but I've only actually ever met one person who came right out and said he was an atheist. I found many of these videos interesting and compelling, although I'm not totally sure I agree with all of the conclusions. I'll have to think about them a bit. I decided to have a whack at YouTube myself. Looks like it might be some fun. Now, I was raised Catholic myself. My father was what I call a Bible thumper. No matter what subject you chose, he could find a way to bring it around to religion pretty quickly. We were sent to Catholic school, catechism classes, communion classes, confirmation, the whole shebang. I stopped going to church when I realized one day that he couldn't make me go. He wasn't going to physically carry me there and chain me to the pew, so I figured I'd get a lecture and that would be that. But I have many brothers and sisters, and some of them remained in the church, some left and later returned, and a few are like me who don't really care one way or the other. I've always been the type that needs evidence. I tend to doubt anything unless I have some reason to believe it. I'm reasonably well educated and I've always been into tech and I've read a lot of things over the years. I've become increasingly wary of religion and alarmed at the rise of fundamentalist politics here in the US. Religion seems to me to be just another control mechanism, a way for some people to tell us what to do, and I never liked that. I've often observed religious people around me, wondering what makes them that way, and I talk to them about their beliefs and why they believe that. I've come to the conclusion that there's three basic types of religious people. Now, this isn't any kind of scientific survey or anything like that. It's just my opinion based on my observations. The first type of people are people who are taught as a child and they just can't get it out of their heads. Now, you have to teach children something. They learn quickly, but they've not developed any kind of critical thinking skills. Most religions think that you have to teach them about God as soon as possible. I mean, you never know. They might die without knowing God if you don't. So they pour this poison into children's mind before they can develop any type of rational, logical thinking. I think this is appalling. Teaching them math and science and language skills is important. Teaching them art and literature is desirable. Even Fit Ed has its place. People got to be healthy. But teaching them religion can wait. This is something that one must reflect on in order to come to some kind of understanding, and that takes critical judgment. When I was taught this stuff as a kid, it was pretty much the same as any other fairy tale to me, only a bit more unpleasant and boring. Now, don't get me wrong here. I don't mean to say kids shouldn't be taught some sort of conduct standards. I hesitate to say morality because it's such a religiously loaded term, so standards of conduct will have to do. We can all, for the most part, agree on these things. We don't kill, we don't steal, we don't lie, honest behavior and a respect for each other. But these things are not religiously based, no matter what you might think. They're really a form of self-preservation. If you don't want people doing it to you, you can't do it to them. It's as simple as that. I know this principle is embraced by most religions to some extent, but it's really common sense, not religion. So there's really no need to inject God into children's mind at that point in their life. If there is a God and he is all loving and merciful, he's not going to eternally punish a child who died not knowing about him. If he did, and for that reason, why would you want to worship him anyway? The whole question of God should wait until they have developed to the point where they can make up their minds about it on their own. I suspect this is not the case because religions fear that if they wait until a person is, say, 18 to introduce the concept of God, they'd get laughed under the table by most people. At that point in most people's lives, they've grown up and discarded the Easter Bunny, monsters under the bed, Santa Claus, and a whole host of other fables. And now you want them to accept this God concept. This is probably going to sound much the same to them as the big bad wolf. So you have to get them before they're rational, especially the part about hell. Get them when they're willing to believe in fables and fairy tales and repeatedly push that vision of eternal punishment into their brains. People of this type just believe because they were told this and they can't seem to shake it. They may not believe it totally, but some do. They fear that hell is real and they surely don't want to go there. Some may be betting on the what have I got to lose idea. I recently found that this is called Pascal's wager. If they believe it and it's true, they win. If they believe it and it's not true, they had nothing to lose anyway. In any case, this type of belief amounts to little more than a form of brainwashing.